it's Betsy-Morgan. Thank you for joining me. I always love being with you. Today, I would like to talk once again, second time, about COVID-19. Oh my gosh, there's so much talk, and I can understand why. It's global. We are all affected in one way or another. And I have been, of late, receiving a lot of questions about, is this a conspiracy theory? Is this really true? Are there people dying? And if so, how many? And what's the truth? What is a myth? What's the mystery? What's the truth here? And so I want to channel on that. I have been receiving, this morning I've been praying, asking, open and receptive to receiving information from my guides. And do know that when I say my guides, that doesn't mean that I'm the only one with them. You have guides and angels who will so happily talk to you. All you need to do is ask them. And hey, by the way, that brings up a thought. If you would ever like to connect with me more personally, I have a private Facebook site where every day I connect with students, friends. I call it spiritual family. And if you would like to know more about how you can connect with me more personally, take a look at learningtochannel.org, and you will find out how to get on that Facebook page with me, learningtochannel.org. But back to COVID-19. I would like to do a channeling and ask Spirit to reveal to us what they would tell us about the truth here. Shall we begin? Join me if you know how to channel. Here we go. I let myself relax. Together, we allow ourselves to relax into our hearts. We breathe love and light right here in this sanctuary where we are at one with God, now and always have been, always will be. And I invite 100,000 angels to lift, love, and protect us. And here I invite the highest and best guides for me. That would be Archangel Michael, Jesus the Christ, and of course, my dear spiritual friend and teacher, Orion. Hello, my beloveds, all of you of yourself. Let us call you saints and angels, for we love you that way. For you have brought your messages to the earth plane. You have brought your truth. Whether it appears to you that your truth is painful to learn or disappointing or happy, it doesn't matter, because you are growing. You are learning. There's always a silver lining. So even in this that you wish us to speak about, there's a silver lining. So we say unto you, be ye not dismayed. And right now they're encouraging me to open my eyes, which is very unusual because I always channel with my eyes closed. So let's see what happens. This is wonderful. Beloveds, dear beings of light, we want you to know that there is an epidemic upon the earth at this time. It has been impressed vibrationally to the earth plane for a global cleansing, and this is not an accident. We ask you indeed, fear not, for the earth will not disappear. But how far will the cleansing go? How serious is it? How real is it? And is there someone that is lying to you? Let us say that in the history of Earth, with all the humans that have ever been, we want you to know that there have always been a polarity. There's always been a polarity, and we know that some of you resist this, and at times you can find the singular line of light where you can become at one, atonement, at one with the divine, for that is your truth. But in the lower world that you call the human race or the earth plane, there is a swing of the pendulum of good, bad, right, wrong, fat, thin, rich, poor, old, young, polarity. And this will affect you. When a pandemic, we'll use this as the subject matter today, but you can apply it actually to almost anything. There's almost always a polarity. What's the good? What's the bad? What's the truth? What's the false? We say unto you, beloved people, beloved beings of light, we who love you so tenderly, genuinely, now and forevermore, do not want to scold you, but remind you that this pandemic is a cleansing and an opportunity for you to go within yourself rather than using it once again as a means to forget who you are and forget that creation is within, not out there, not in that frightening pandemic, nor in the yin and yang of humankind, the good or the bad, the truth tellers or the liars. For always on your human plane, there have been both. And we want you to know on both sides of the aisle in the United States and everywhere politically, good and bad, right and wrong, truth and lies are displayed. Human nature, not divine nature, but human nature has fear, the ego, and wants more, no matter how much it has. In fact, the more the ego gets, the hungrier it gets. It wants to be fed. So now this pandemic is huge. Thus, the ego gets bigger. And when you, as a beautiful being of light, raise your vibration and raise your consciousness, your ego will raise to that level. So if the ego is pulling you with fear about the pandemic or any other thing, remember that as you grow, the ego grows. So don't use this to scold yourself. That's always the ego. Love comes from the heart. And as you love, you lift. Love and lift. But ego lowers you. Fear lowers you. And externalizing your fear into the pandemic does you no good at all because it's not outside. The fear is in here. Has nothing to do with the pandemic, no matter how real it looks. And it is real. In your realm, people are dying. And the question often that we hear through Morgan is the pandemic, is COVID killing people? Yes. Yes, it is. And lots of other things are killing people. Car accidents, heart disease, strokes, the big C or cancer. Lots of things are taking the human physical vehicle out to join us upstairs. But it is an ongoing life. There's nowhere to go. You're not actually going to die, although we know you miss terribly the ones you love in the physical because your five senses say that's reality. Remember to develop a sixth sense so that you end the feeling of separation and that you begin to remember all is one. And in doing that, you will begin to remember to go inside for the power, inside for the reality, inside for the love, inside for the comfort. And you will not need to look at, nor blame, nor try to figure out what's going on outside and why. It's interesting, isn't it? Drama is so interesting to human beings. And the stronger the ego is, the more exciting the drama is. Let's get into it. Let's figure it out. Who's right? Who's wrong? Doesn't matter. It's here on the human plane, and it is doing its cleansing really, really well. It will be over in time. If there's anything that you on the human plane can count on, it is change. And usually it's unexpected change because it challenges the ego. So those of you who have been keeping up with spiritual growth, you know that you've been growing. You know that ever since 1987 when there was a harmonic convergence, and then in 2012, and then in 2020, and now as we are speaking to you, there's the Lion's Gate that is happening right now, which is huge and bursting with exciting and powerful energy, making you change, making you investigate yourself here and see what you are reflecting out there. So the bottom line here is there's a global cleansing. And why? Could you be cleansing big time? We think so. This cleanse, huge cleanse, that is killing many human beings, taking the physical life, is demonstrating to you what's going on inside. You are doing a monumental cleanse. And remember, as you cleanse, you have the opportunity to find your heart, to love yourself, forgive yourself and others, to keep loving. And as you do, you love and lift, and that will also lift the ego. So I know this can sound complicated, but it's really not. You'll find the spiral here, up, up, up. As you love, you'll cleanse. And as you cleanse, there will be emotion. And after the emotion has swept out, then you will get an aha, or realization, an understanding. And then the cycle kind of repeats itself. But the bottom line is, it's in here. The power's in here. Creation is in here. There is no power stronger than God. And God, divine I am, whatever you want to call that, is in here. And what you are going through is always reflected out there. That's your screen, your movie. So in order to heal the COVID-19, work on yourself. Once again, love yourself, forgive yourself, love and forgive others. Be that which you wish to have in your world. Be the person you want others to be to you. And know that you're just cleansing, and that the dying is the dying off of those old emotions, those old beliefs, the limited beliefs that have kept you stuck. You're growing, that's all. You're shedding the old skin, like a snake will shed its skin. Well, as many of us know, there is like a coiled snake of energy within us. That's an analogy. And you're shedding, you're cleansing, and it's a good thing. So pray, use your meditation, envision, use your self-love, use this opportunity to go within. And if you could, take the focus away from the drama and the horror. It's horrible of what's happening out in the world. It doesn't matter to you, does it? How many people have died? So many have died, but it's only their body. There's no such thing as death. And we know that doesn't comfort those who have lost someone. We're very aware of that. And we're extremely sorry for the pain that so many of you are feeling. But we are here to relieve the fear. There's no death. The pandemic will end. Whatever you see, including the pandemic, whatever you see outside of you is a part of the consciousness from within. That's where everything begins. Then it's shown out here so you know what's going on in here and what you might need to do to heal yourself. And that's love. That's always the answer. It's so simple, but it's human nature to make it drama because the ego just loves to get into it. So please don't blame yourself. Just know you're growing. Just love yourself. Love others. Pray for those who are hurting, and pray for yourself with thanksgiving that you have this opportunity to wake up, to grow up spiritually, and to love. Thank you so much for joining me. I love you all. Spirit and I are talking collectively. I love you all. God bless.